Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. We are one day away tomorrow. The orange and white game. Spring football is in the air. We should be excited. We should be talking about who's going to flash, who looks the part, all those conversations that we like to have during the spring when the orange and white game rolls around. But instead, we're talking about QB1. We're talking about the chosen one. We're talking about contract negotiations. The transfer portal keeps getting brought up. There's a lot of misinformation out there about what's going on with Nico. So what is going on with Nico? We talked about this last night on the live stream. We came at it from every different angle. We talked about, the contract negotiations. The truth, the fact of the matter is some people think that Nico signed a new contract back in December. That is not the case. He did not do that. Did he meet with the coaching staff? Did his team meet with the coaching staff? Yes, it was more about who's going to be around me. What's the wide receiver room going to look like? What's the offensive line going to look like? What are we going to do to be more innovative on offense? That's what December was all about. Nico did not sign a new contract. That's confirmed by VolQuest.com. So now here we sit on 3, of course, stirred up the hornet's nest yesterday with the tweet saying Tennessee and Nico Iamaleava are in active contract negotiations ahead of the 2025 season, Pete Nakos reports. Now, he goes on to say it is unclear if the negotiations will impact whether or not he enters the spring transfer portal. You can say that about any player in college football. Any player in college football right now, you could say it is unclear if they're going to enter the spring transfer portal. It's the reality of the game, right? It's 2025. It's unlimited free agency, the world of NIL and transfer portal. This is nothing more than getting clicks, getting views. And I get it. I'm in the business of trying to get clicks and get views. But if you go to the article, and we talked about this last night, but there's some new information that has come out that I want to get into. But we talked about this last night. If you open up the article, the very next sentence says, sources have indicated that Nico Iamaleava is happy at Tennessee, has a strong relationship with Josh Heupel. Says the Vols are trying to finalize a new contract before Saturday's orange and white spring game. And again, we came at this from so many different angles last night. We talked about whether or not Nico deserves a raise, and you can agree or disagree on that based on his performance in 2024. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Foul Ming brought some numbers, man. We talked about market value. What is a quarterback of Nico's ability, what he's proven, what he can do. Look, we're talking about a redshirt freshman. There is room for growth here with Nico, but we looked at market value, and does Nico deserve a raise based on market value? Again, you are entitled to your opinion. You can feel however you want to feel about that, but I want to get into the new information that is out there coming from Nico's family themselves. We're going to talk about it, but as always, I need you guys to do that YouTube stuff for me. Smash the thumbs up, subscribe, click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Going to be live Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to play EA Sports College Football, but we're going to talk all about the orange and white game. We're going to talk about the Nico contract stuff. It's always a laid-back, chill stream on Sunday nights, but I'm about to head to Knoxville. Me and Coach Jay, the X Factor, we're going to be in Knoxville. We're going to be at Calhoun's tonight, eating dinner. Come by, say hello, and then tomorrow, we're going to be tailgating bright and early, hopefully around 8 a.m. We're going to try to get there early in the G10 parking garage right beside the stadium. So come out, hang out. We'll have a good time. We'll go in and watch the spring game together. But let's get into the new information. This came out from CBS Sports. At Tennessee, frustration and some uncertainty as contract talks with quarterback Nico Iamaleava go public. Now, this was a big part of the conversation, too, last night. Why did that go public? Who made that public? Did that leak come from Nico's team trying to get leverage? Did that leak come from Tennessee? Where is this information coming from? Or is this Pete Nakos running with a story that's not accurate? I don't know. We'll go through all of it. Let's take a look at the article. Says here, uncertainty spiked in Knoxville on Thursday as Tennessee's unsteady relationship with starting quarterback Nico Iamaleava went public. A report from On3. Now, why are we saying unsteady relationship? If Nico is looking to get paid what he deserves based on market value, why is that an unsteady relationship? Who has said anything about an unsteady relationship? Says a report from On3 described Iamaleava in Tennessee as going through contract negotiations ahead of April 16th, opening off the college football spring transfer portal window. Again, the timing of this is convenient. Goes on to say if Tennessee loses Iamaleava, it would shake up the national quarterback landscape. Could also unleash a fury not seen on Rocky Top since coach Lane Kiffin bolted for USC in the cover of darkness. Tennessee is determined to keep a player into which it has invested major capital, money, reputation, lawyers to build up as a pillar of the program. Again, gosh, this is drama for the sake of drama. There is no unsteady relationship that we are aware of other than speculation. Said updated contract agreements have been made all across college football the last several weeks. Let's read that sentence again. right? When we want to talk about Nico, and if your mind is processing this and you're saying, let him walk, let him go, move on, let's read that sentence again. Updated contract agreements have been made across college football the last several weeks ahead of April 16th's opening of the spring window, which is why sources at Tennessee say they were caught off guard when they saw their business being aired out on social media Thursday. The act could provide interested schools daylight to gauge Iamaleava's interest. This happened back in December. This happened back in January. Sources around Tennessee tell CBS Sports there are multiple parties involved in Iamaleava's camp, though his dad, Nicholas, runs the show. This is Cordell Landers, family friend, says the family are happy with Tennessee. Again, says Cordell Landers, a close friend of Iamaleava's. Landers is a former assistant director of player personnel at Florida who also works with a number of notable players from California. Says there are no contract negotiations. They are happy with the contract that they have. Again, that comes from Cordell Landers, a close friend of the family. Now, it gets a little bit more interesting if we close this window and we go take a look at Cordell Landers and what he had to say on Twitter. We wanted to get to this last night. Unfortunately, we did not get to that. But you can go and see his response to the situation. He says, Pete Nakos is a liar. He says, you did the same thing with Dominic Williams. On3 should fire you. You're lying to break a story that doesn't even exist. I wish you was right on this one, but you're not. Every time I catch you in a lie, I'm going to expose you. So On3 Sports knows. So again, exactly what is going on here? Like, is there truth to the story that Pete Nakos is putting out? And even if there is some truth here, even if Nico is going through contract negotiations, why that second sentence, it is unclear if the negotiations will impact whether he enters the spring transfer portal. That sentence is what has Vol Nation. That sentence is what has Vol Twitter up in arms and going in on our own. We love to eat our own. We love to attack Nico. If this was going on quietly behind the scenes and Nico was negotiating a new contract, Nico got what he wanted. Tennessee may be happy with where they're at on their end of the deal. And then we go through spring and then we go play ball in the fall and nobody is talking about this and there is no need to attack our own. But again, Cordell Landers, friend of the family, close to the family, calling Pete Nakos a liar, says there are no negotiations going on. So let's go take a look at another tweet that came out from Nico's dad. From Nico's dad, this is on Twitter. More games being played off the field than on the field. He has some certain words that he calls Pete Nakos. Called and asked me directly. Told him I had no idea what he's talking about. He said a close source that he trusts with his life from the University of Tennessee gave him this information. So y'all can ask them what's going on because it ain't from us. So again, we are left to speculate and wonder what is going on. Is Nico going through contract negotiations? Is he not? And again, great conversation last night on the live stream. If you missed it, go back and watch that live stream because we talked about whether or not we feel he deserves it. We talked about market value. We compared his production and his NIL value to the production and NIL value of other quarterbacks. And that's something, a lot of people are talking about. Again, I go back to VolQuest, the guys that I trust, the insiders, the experts. And Austin Price put out yesterday said Tennessee isn't looking to pay him less. I told you all he didn't get a new deal in December. The market has shifted on all accounts. And I think that is a big part of this, the market value. Again, talked about it last night. Go watch that live stream. He said, I certainly think it will get worked out as both sides have been talking about a new deal since December. So this conversation, this back and forth has been going on since December. So we're trying to work and reach an agreement. So where are we at now? Where are we at today? We're trying to still get to that agreement. What are your thoughts on all this? Because the interesting part for me, and again, maybe this is going to stir up a hornet's nest and create more chaos, and Nico wasn't at practice today. Austin Price just put it out on VolQuest and said that Nico was not at practice today. That does concern me. He says there was no access today, no practice access today, so meaning the media could not take in practice. But I'm told Nico was not at practice. I don't know if or when Tennessee will comment on this with nothing scheduled until the orange and white game tomorrow. So does that concern you? Is it a simple matter of Nico is taking care of business? I don't know. I don't like the fact that he's missing practice over this, and that causes me to raise an eyebrow. What is going on? I don't think any of us know. We'll continue to follow, continue to keep you guys updated. Jump in the comment section. Let's talk about it. As always, make sure you smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. Go check out the Talkin VAWLS merchandise, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. You can also support the channel by hitting that join button down below. Become a member of the channel for just $1 a month. We would greatly appreciate it. But that is going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.